Take a deep breath, because this episode, this one, isn't about money. It's not about cars, fame, or the weight of your bank account. It's about you, the real you, the one underneath the roles, the job title, the possessions, the being that built it all. Bennett once said, "Success is not in what you have, but who you are." And when I first heard that quote, I felt it cut through the noise. Because we live in a world obsessed with the having, the bigger house, the faster car, the next milestone, the next validation. But if success was only about what you have, then why are there so many people who have everything and yet feel nothing? You see, the deeper truth is this: success is not measured by what's in your pocket. It's measured by what's in your character. Because what you build on the outside will only ever be as strong as who you are on the inside. The illusion of having. Let's talk about the trap most people fall into, the illusion of external success. We're raised to believe that if we just achieve enough, buy enough, own enough, then we'll finally be enough. That's the cultural lie, and it's powerful. We chase the next title, the next paycheck, the next possession. We say, when I get that, then I'll feel proud. Then I'll feel worthy. But let me tell you something I've learned, and I learned it the hard way. If you're not enough without the success, you'll never be enough with it. Because external success can fill your hands, but only internal growth can fill your heart. Think about it. We've all seen people who seem to have made it. The celebrity who can't sleep without pills. The CEO who's a stranger to his own children. The influencer with millions of followers and zero peace. They climbed the ladder of success, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. The foundation of true success. So what is success, really? Success is alignment. It's when your actions match your values, when your dreams serve something deeper than your ego, when your growth on the outside reflects your growth on the inside. Because the truth is, success isn't what you get, it's what you become. The money you make, the things you own, the achievements you collect, those are just reflections of who you are. They're mirrors, not definitions. That's why two people can have the same amount of wealth and live completely different lives. One feels free, the other feels trapped. Same possessions, different person. The person who feels free has mastered the art of being. They've built their identity on principles, not possessions. They don't need success to feel significant. They bring significance to everything they do. And that's the shift Bennett is calling us toward. The inner architecture of greatness. Let me give it to you straight. Success without self is a house built on sand. It looks strong, but the first storm will destroy it. You can have all the tools, all the strategies, all the tactics. But if your identity isn't built to hold the weight of your success, it will collapse under its own pressure. That's why personal growth must always precede professional growth. If you want more success, don't chase it. Grow into it. Become the kind of person success is attracted to. Because the truth is, wealth, influence, opportunity, they all follow character. You want to be trusted with more? Then become trustworthy. You want to lead people? Then lead yourself. You want to create abundance? Then create value, not just products, but principles. The universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are. And the question is, who are you becoming? The mirror moment. Let's pause here. This is your mirror moment. Take a second and ask yourself, if all the money, all the status, all the achievements disappeared tomorrow, who would you be? Would you still stand tall? Would you still have integrity? Would you still move with purpose? Because that unshakable part of you is your real wealth. It's your internal equity, and it compounds every time you choose growth over comfort, courage over fear, integrity over approval. That's the wealth that no market crash can destroy, no recession can steal, no person can take away. That's the kind of wealth that builds empires from the inside out. The awakening. Let me tell you something powerful. When you focus on becoming, you naturally start attracting. You don't need to chase recognition. It chases you. You don't need to demand respect. People feel it when you walk in the room. You don't need to beg for success. It gravitates toward your vibration. Because when you become a person of value, you become a magnet for opportunity. Bennett understood this deeply. He wasn't talking about wealth or possessions. He was talking about character wealth, the kind of wealth that turns ordinary people into leaders, dreamers into doers, and adversity into evolution. That's what real success is. It's not something you acquire, it's something you embody. The call. So here's my challenge for you right now. Stop asking, what do I need to get? Start asking, who do I need to become? Because when you evolve your identity, your results have no choice but to rise to meet you. Every new level of success requires a new level of you. And the greatest journey you'll ever take is the journey inward. We talked about how success isn't about what you own, it's about who you become. Now it's time to translate that truth into real-world power, into action, into momentum, into transformation. Because knowing who you are and building who you are two completely different things. So let's go deeper. The inner operating system of success. Think of your mind as the software that runs your entire life. Every decision, every behavior, every result, it all flows from that code. And most people, they're running on outdated programming. They were taught, get good grades, get a job, buy the house, buy the car, be successful. But nobody told them the real secret. Success isn't a formula you follow. It's an identity you grow into. You don't get results that match your dreams. You get results that match your self-image. That's why two people can start at the same point, same education, same tools, same opportunities, and one will soar while the other stalls. It's not the resources, it's the resourcefulness. It's the way they see themselves. Because here's the truth, you will never outperform your self-identity. If you see yourself as someone who's average, you'll act in average ways. If you see yourself as someone capable, resilient, limitless, you'll take actions that reflect that truth. You cannot sustain a level of success higher than the one your identity can handle. That's why every level of external growth must begin with internal evolution. Rebuilding the inner you. So how do you do it? How do you become the person capable of sustaining success? It starts with awareness. Ask yourself, who am I being right now? What beliefs am I living from? What story am I telling myself about what's possible? Because your beliefs are the architects of your reality. If you believe success is for other people, you'll never chase it. If you believe wealth corrupts, you'll subconsciously push it away. If you believe you're not ready, you'll always wait for the perfect moment. But when you upgrade your beliefs, you upgrade your destiny. You start to think bigger. You start to act bolder. You start to move differently, with certainty, with clarity, with conviction. That's the difference between trying to succeed and embodying success. Trying is external. Embodying is internal. And when your internal identity says, I am worthy of greatness, your external world begins to rearrange itself to match that truth. The formula of being. Let's simplify it. Here's the formula. Be, do, have. Most people live life backwards. They think, when I have more money, I'll do more of what I love, and then I'll be happy. But that's not how the world works. Success flows in the opposite direction. First, you be, the identity. Then, you do, the action. And only then do you have, the result. Because your outer results are always a reflection of your inner state. That's why working harder doesn't always make you wealthier. Because if your being is stuck in scarcity, you'll sabotage abundance the moment it arrives. You'll find a way to shrink back down to your comfort zone, not because you're lazy, but because you're incongruent. So the work isn't about grinding harder, it's about aligning deeper. You don't need to chase success. You need to become the kind of person success naturally follows. That's the shift Bo Bennett is pointing to. Not accumulation, transformation. Not performance, identity. The compass within. Let me tell you something powerful. Success isn't a straight line. It's a compass. And that compass is internal. Every time you act out of integrity, you move closer to your true north. Every time you compromise your values, you drift off course. It doesn't matter how far you go in your career, your business, or your goals. If you lose your center, you lose everything. Because success without peace is failure in disguise. And you know that. You've seen it. You've felt it. That gnawing feeling when you achieve something and it still doesn't satisfy you. That's your soul whispering, this isn't who you're meant to be. This isn't aligned. You see, the external journey of success will test your internal compass every day. Will you choose integrity over image? Will you choose purpose over approval? Will you choose growth over comfort? These are the choices that build who you are. And who you are determines what you can sustain. The identity of abundance. Let's talk about wealth from this angle. True wealth begins when you no longer define yourself by what you own, but by what you offer. Because when your identity is rooted in contribution, not consumption, you become limitless. Money stops being a measure of worth and becomes a tool for impact. Recognition stops being validation and becomes inspiration. Success stops being about me and starts being about we. That's the point where abundance flows freely, because you've shifted from scarcity to service. Bo Bennett's words cut through all illusions. Success isn't in the mansion, the car, or the title. It's in the heart, the habits, and the humanity of the person living inside them. That's why some of the wealthiest people I've met are also the humblest, because they've learned the more you become, the more you can give. And the more you give, the more you are. Practical reflection. So let's get tactical for a second. How do you align who you are with the success you're building? Here's a simple daily reflection process, what I call the success alignment ritual. 1. Morning identity check. Ask, who am I choosing to be today? Not what do I need to do, but who do I need to be to make today meaningful? 2. Integrity audit. At the end of each day, reflect, did I act in alignment with my values? If the answer is no, adjust tomorrow. If the answer is yes, celebrate it. That's growth. 3. Gratitude and grounding. Every evening, list 3 things you're proud of about who you are becoming. Not achievements, but traits. Patience, courage, compassion, persistence. This is how you anchor your identity in growth, not possessions. Because when you focus on being someone better every day, success stops being a destination. It becomes your natural expression. You and I have gone deep, deeper than the surface level success everyone chases. We've stripped away the noise, the image, the illusion, and now we stand face to face with the core truth. Success is a mirror, and that mirror reflects not what you own, but who you've become. So let's bring everything together. The mindset, the energy, the habits, and the humanity, and build a foundation so strong that nothing can shake it. Because if there's one lesson this quote demands of us, it's this. You can't fake who you are. You can only build it. The power of character. Let's talk about something most people avoid, character. In today's world, we reward achievement more than integrity. We celebrate fame more than substance. We chase visibility over value. But real success, the kind that lasts, is always built on character. Because when everything else fades, your reputation, your possessions, your career, your character is what remains. Character is what gets you up when life knocks you down. Character is what keeps you humble when the world praises you. Character is what whispers stay true when shortcuts look tempting. And here's the truth. You can't build true success without first building yourself. The habits, the mindset, the consistency, all of that stems from the kind of person you choose to be. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. So ask yourself, right now, who am I becoming every single day? Not when people are watching, not when things are easy, but when no one will ever know. Because that's the real measure of success. The success equation. Here's something I want you to burn into your mind. Success equals authenticity, contribution, consistency. You want to live a life that matters? Then multiply your authenticity. Be real. Add your contribution, give value to others, and sustain it with consistency. Show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you turn success from an event into an identity. Every successful person you admire, Bo Bennett, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Robert Kiyosaki, they didn't just achieve, they became. They worked on themselves harder than they worked on their businesses. They mastered the art of inner success, and that mastery spilled outward into everything they touched. Because when you elevate who you are, you automatically elevate what you do. Becoming the person success can trust. Let's go deeper. Success is like a living thing. It's not random. It's intelligent. It looks for a home, a vessel strong enough to hold it, and it only stays where it's respected. If success comes to you before you've built the identity to sustain it, it'll destroy you. You'll self-sabotage. You'll lose focus. You'll forget who you are. But when you've done the inner work, when you've built patience, discipline, resilience, and gratitude, success doesn't overwhelm you. It anchors you. It amplifies your purpose instead of inflating your ego. So don't chase success. Prepare for it. Become the kind of person success can trust, because who you are will always determine what you can handle. The redefinition of rich. Let's redefine what it means to be rich. You're rich when you wake up with peace in your mind and purpose in your heart. You're rich when your relationships are built on love, not convenience. You're rich when your values aren't for sale. You're rich when your happiness isn't borrowed from anyone else's approval. That's wealth. That's success. That's you. Because when your internal world is abundant, your external world will eventually follow. Bo Bennett didn't say this quote to sound wise. He said it to wake you up, to remind you that no amount of achievement can replace authenticity. Who you are, your integrity, your courage, your faith, your perseverance, that's your fortune. So here's your challenge, my friend. From today forward, measure success differently. Don't ask, what did I earn today? Ask, who did I become today? Did you keep your word when it got tough? Did you treat others with respect even when no one was watching? Did you show up with purpose even when motivation was gone? Because that's success. Every act of discipline builds your foundation. Every choice of integrity raises your ceiling. Every moment of courage expands your capacity. And when you live like that, day after day, year after year, you'll build something no one can take away. A version of yourself that's untouchable. That's the ultimate success. You've just finished episode 7. Success is not in what you have, but who you are. And if this episode spoke to you, remember, the greatest investment you can make is in the person you are becoming. Your money will grow, your career will evolve, but your character, that's the legacy you leave behind. Because in the end, people don't remember what you owned. They remember how you made them feel, They remember who you were. So keep becoming, keep growing, keep building the inner wealth that can't be counted but can be felt. This is Immortal Quotes, where we awaken the greatness that already lives inside you. Discipline equals freedom. Next time, we're going to dive into the battle-tested wisdom of a Navy SEAL, a leader, and a man who embodies mastery through self-control. Because Jocko Willink says it best. In episode 8, we'll uncover how the structure you build becomes the freedom you live, how self-control is not punishment, but power, and how the world opens up to those who can command themselves first. We'll talk about mental toughness, daily habits, and the warrior's mindset, so you can take everything you've learned and live it with precision. Because true freedom isn't found in doing whatever you want. It's found in doing what's necessary. So stay tuned, train your mind, sharpen your will, and remember, success isn't what you have, it's who you become through discipline. This is Immortal Quotes, and the evolution continues.